What is going on, All Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, this backwards hat that I wear from time to time. This is your All Terrain Nation, and I am your host, David Boyd, alongside co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Bronco Santa himself, overlanding for fun.
El Bronco Santa.
Oh, El
Bronco
Santa. The Bronco Santa, huh? Oh, yep. Man. What is up, Tim?
You've tonight I'm going to put one on just for you.
Oh, that's the tributes, man.
Dave, I tell you what, I love that intro song so much that I'm going to download the live stream, steal the audio, and make that the ringtone on my phone.
When I call, can you do it when I call?
Absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. And no, it's such a quirky, weird song, but I love it too. And I'm going to redo that video and make it a little cooler. But what is going on, everybody? Tim, you've had a hectic day. I know I've had a hectic day. The fire is lit, though. You stoked the coals.
Fire is lit.
And speaking of lit, tonight we're going to talk about mid-size trucks, man. Probably in my opinion, the best segment of truck, because it's fun to me. There's multiple things you can do with it. You can actually go do real off-roading with them and not feel like you're going to rip the mirrors off the truck, and not crapping on the Raptors of the world and all that, because there's places for that. But I think, like, for me, the mid-size truck just speaks to me, and I'm kind of excited to talk trucks. But first, we got to talk about, well, how's your day, man? Everything good?
Living a dream. Just it's one of those things at work. You get these unexpected plans, they just fall in your lap, and then your next 6 months is screwed over. But otherwise, no big deal.
Oh, well, yeah. Who needs that? I mean, I was literally planning out my Christmas today, so my schedule is that packed right now that it's I'm going till Christmas now.
And it probably helps that you guys have fairly mild weather down there. You probably work a little bit longer than somebody maybe up in the northern part of the United States, outdoors at least.
Oh no, my job doesn't. I'm 24, whatever. There's no 365, man. There is no weather. Rarely. We did get a little bit of what we would call a blizzard here last year, and it stopped us for about a week. But after that, we're good to go. And I could have went out then. The company was going to pay, and I was like, cool, I'll stay home.
I was so jealous last winter. I live up north. We got absolutely zero snow after I got my Bronco, and then you guys probably had more snow in Middle Tennessee than most of the northern United States did.
Oh, dude, I woke up that Bronco video I did in the snow. I literally woke up to go to work. It was 5 a.m. I seen all the snow, and I knew that wasn't going to happen. And my instant was grab the camera gear. Let's go. And I'm 5:30 in the morning out playing in the snow, video and stuff. Had a blast, man. But you guys know what we do here. I didn't mean to
I was going to interrupt. And just speaking of that, guys, if you are new to the channel, take a look at All Terrain Nation, search back. Dave actually did a video. I think he did the very first topless snow video in a Bronco. Actually, Dave and Kelly. They took their Bronco topless through Middle Tennessee and had some fun at the Jeep dealership.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you check out the video.
Jeep dealership. Because there was nobody in Jeeps having any fun. So I thought, well, the new Bronco kid on the block's got to have some fun. But you guys know what we do. We got to say hi to everybody. We go, obviously, Overlanding for Fun's in the chat. Welcome, Tim.
Who's that guy?
Overland Nashville. Jim Bob is in the house. Legendary Jim Bob. We got Michael Rivas. Let's see. Bronco 78. We've got the cast of characters in here. Honest is in there. Honest, I got your Blanton's up there. It's next in my drink list. So we'll start working on that one. Gene is in the house. Bug guy is in the house. Let's see. Mobile, of course, is in the house. Let's see. Caleb and Jeffrey Babb, and we got others that will pop in. But this is the happy hour. This is not Bronco talk. This is everything talk. So anything in the automotive industry you guys ever want to talk about, feel free to drop us a line. Go over to allterrainnation.com. There's a contact place there, and you can reach out to us. And we're going to start doing every so often. You got to be on our socials to figure this out. Even Tim's, you got to go over to Tim's socials and figure this one out. Every once in a while, we're going to drop a golden ticket out there. And I did it today. Nobody's bid on it yet because I don't think they exactly know what that means. But the golden ticket is, if we pop it out there and we're going to, in the description of that video, we will say, hey, this is what we're talking about tonight. If you feel like, hey, these guys don't know what they're talking about, I've got a solid take. Right. I don't want to get on here and debate these guys. I will throw it out there. What you will do, you will email the channel, allterrainnationmedia@gmail.com. It's the same place that the website will take you. And you just give me a tiny paragraph of your thoughts and opinions, and randomly you might get a return email with a address to hop on the show with us and prove your point. Let it be known.
Right.
So, but that's just randomly. I'm not going to announce when we do it. We did it tonight, and I didn't get any responses. Like I said, Tim, I think the idea is so new. Like nobody exactly knows how to handle it.
I'm surprised Peugeot didn't email.
In Peugeot, they've had their time on the show. They helped keep me awake, and then ran the show while I was asleep on that live stream, which was kind of funny. I camped in the back of the Bronco, so and live streamed the whole thing. But yeah. So tonight, Tim, we are talking midsize trucks, and I know what you're going to say, Dave. I'm never going to own a truck, because when you own a truck, what happens?
People want you to help them move. And,
right.
and to be honest, to a certain degree, I could probably find myself in a mid-sized truck. Some of the little tiny ones, I'm not, at 5'13", it's a little hard to squeeze into some of the smaller trucks. But I think maybe a little bit, maybe not a full size, but something a little smaller may not be a bad thing.
Yeah,
and it may not be a bad thing to get on some of the trails if it's maybe just a little narrower than the full size truck.
Well, and yeah, no, I will be honest, having a truck around is always a good thing. From time to time, we don't have an actual bedded truck in the driveway, so that's usually when I need to haul things or do truck like is when I don't have it. And now I've got a Gladiator sitting in the driveway, and I'm like, I really need to do much truck stuff lately. The Gladiator needs to go away, though. By the way, if you're interested in that, hit me up. We'll throw some numbers out there. But there's a lot of, like, the midsize truck market by 2009, 2010 was almost dead. Toyota was still the leader in the house. They were making the Tacoma, and which is the king of the mountain for Toyota's owned this segment for since maybe the late 80s. Them and Nissan battled for a while when Nissan had the hard body, and believe it or not, Nissan used to sell around 250,000 hard bodies a year. Toyota was doing the same thing with their little truck. I don't even know I don't think it really had a name back then, but then just everybody started kind of doing away with it. And GM kind of rested on their laurels with their S10, S15 platform, and they just really didn't update anything about it forever. People got tired of that. They wanted to jump to some other brands. Rams had their times with the Dakotas, which I think is a really fun truck, especially you could get like the old, I believe it was a Shelby that they did for a while as a Dakota. And they had some fun stuff, but being Ram at the time, they design just wasn't exactly there. And then, once again, Ford has always had like the Ranger, except for the fact that they really didn't update the Ranger for a long time. The underpinning of that vehicle, I don't think till 2011, I want to say the underpinning was damn near the same as the mid 80s. What Ford gets away with, the old Crown Vics, they never updated that. And they sold, to every police department and probably globally.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. And but there was a lot of sales with it. But by 2011, man, the economy had tanked. We were kind of coming back out of it. The Ranger, Ford's like, you know what? We're going to axe the Ranger. It's just we would rather focus on F-150 sales. Which why not? They're the best selling full size truck. Why worry about this little truck? Nobody sales were down, but they axed that. Then GM and with their twins, they've been back and forth. They changed the name from the S10 to the Colorado and Canyon. I don't know that they sold some. They had a new design. It was kind of a more modern take on that late 90s version, and they got rid of it. And I'll be honest, that last generation of pickup truck from them was garbage. They were so many problems, man. We used to have a few in our stable, and they were just garbage trucks from the factory, garbage. But they gave up on the midsize truck, and there for a while it was just Toyota and Nissan. And the import brand, Tim, they were like, hey, we'll take up all these sales. But then you get Nissan, who their latest Frontier came out in 2005, and they didn't update the damn thing till this past year. And literally, they didn't update hardly anything in the interior, like nothing. But they were still cranking 60, 70, 80,000 a year out of that thing, which is not what Toyota does. But they were happy with those numbers. And after 15, 16 years, you crank out those numbers, it's all profit by the end of it. There's no development costs anymore.
Yeah. Actually,
finally, Tim, we got a new Frontier, which I know you're not big on Nissan, so
I can always be persuaded.
There you go. You were a Kia guy after all.
I was a Kia guy. Matter of fact, I've been driving to Kia here for the last couple of days. I did
Yeah.
put the top back on the Bronco today because we're looking at rain for the next like 7 days in a row. So
There's nothing like getting a convertible a vehicle, and then my whole summer's been a lot of rain.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, that's cool. Maybe by winter I cannot use it then.
I think we were, have talked in the past, and you just mentioned again some of the trucks not really updating, the manufacturers not updating their thing, and I think, something that we've talked about in the past with that, and I wonder sometimes is it the car companies needing or not understanding that tech is driving the innovation in their vehicles. More and more younger people are driving. Tech is evolved in their lives. And you look at our kids, my oldest kid, I mean, he's had a computer since grade school. My two younger kids, I mean, that's all they live on. Everything around them is going to be involving tech. And I think the car companies have had a hard time kind of embracing that. And that's probably why they haven't bothered to do much in their vehicles. We talk about Toyota and how
look from
crappy theirs is.
Yeah, 2010 till 20, like the advancement in tech in a vehicle. I mean, like I said, the last Nissan truck, the only tech it really had was a radio that had a CD player, and then they kind of put some Bluetooth in it. Like that was the tech of that vehicle. Toyota with their Tacoma in 16, when they brought this latest generation out, they did some crawl control stuff, some like easy button stuff for the novice that wanted to get into off-roading a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But past that, the horrible tech in that vehicle just stuck in seems like 2016.
Well, I commented in our little private chat. I sent the picture up of that. I don't know what size the screen is in the Sorrento.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's maybe half the size of what's in the Bronco. And I just was like, oh my God, what am I looking at? I'm used to seeing it all with maps on the side and all the other stuff. So it's changed a lot.
I want to say the biggest thing for advancement of the midsize pickup truck was when they added the 4-door models. And Nissan was real big in that with the Frontier. They've been doing this. Nissan had been doing that in South America and some other countries for a decade. And why that it never caught on. And then, obviously the full size truck, that was a big trend of, the kind of king cabs where the wide open doors that you could get into it. And then that it just expanded. People wanted full size doors. And then it got into the little trucks. But as far as like big advancements till now, there's been no real advancements in these little trucks. And but I'm excited to talk about the midsize trucks. We're going to kind of break down each model, but I'm going to throw a poll out here in just a second because I'm curious which brand is kind of your brand. I assume Toyota is going to win on this one because if you look at the truck sales, nobody comes close to Toyota. There's still over 200, generally 250,000 Tacoma sales a year. Like, that's ridiculous, Tim. I mean, think about it. That's how many 250,000 little trucks every year they're cranking out. And that's why you see them everywhere.
It's a lot of tacos.
Dude, that is a lot of tacos.
With bad anchor systems for the car seats in the back.
Well, yeah, you did discuss that last week. What was that again?
I did, yeah. As a parent with young children, that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, you can always make more.
That's
survival of the fittest. Tim.
There you go. That's right, little kids. That's right.
Sorry, I'm trying to add this option. I always forget that it only allows you. Come on, YouTube, get your poll thing together. Let me give more than like 4 options. And we'll add one more. All right, so there is because I can only add so many options, and these are the top selling options. So we'll go from there. But yeah, so Tim, out of all the little midsize trucks, you don't seem to be brand loyal, really. You've seemed to, just talking to you privately, you've kind of been all over the map with car purchases. But out of the midsize trucks, which ones kind of stick out to you that are somewhat appealing?
I will reserve judgment on a 23 Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I did look at the new lineup that GM has been teasing. I kind of like the concept of a few of those, although I'm not a big GM fan per se. I mean, I'd have to be a pretty darn good discount to buy one. I've had good luck with Toyota. Had good luck with Kia too. Like to see a truck come out of Kia, but I don't think they'll do that.
So this popped. That's a great segue as you talk about the GM. So this popped out this past week. I did a couple quick videos on this because I knew it was coming, but I didn't get the press release on this one in time. But yeah, there's going to be a new Colorado for 23, and it actually goes into production this spring, or I should say next spring. And it looks great, Tim. I'm really impressed with the way this thing looks. There's a couple things that I'm not impressed about. Let me see if I can pull up
the
picture of it.
Trail Boss.
I love the Trail Boss. I think that
if I were to get one, it would be the Trail Boss.
Yeah, pound for pound, I think that is the best value that they have. Where's your photos? All right, GM. GM is their website sometimes a little goofy. But no, I think the Trail Boss is going to be a nice trim. The only thing I don't like about the Trail Boss is GM has this thing, and Ford does it too with their trimmer. Well, you can get it in the XLT, or like you can get it in the LT, or you can get it in this, and you're like, no, just make it its own truck, and just that's it. You can't go. I like a Raptor in an F-150, but whoa. I just need the bare bones features of the Raptor. So can we get the base F-150's Raptor? But it's all about price points with these brands, and I get it. But let me force me to.
I think I might have closed the article, but did you see the color palettes?
For this truck?
Yes.
I have not seen the color palettes on this thing.
There is one floating around. I'll see if I can't find it.
So Gene, that is I see this a lot. So no extend cab on the ZR2. So Gene is not about that. But I see a lot of people, these manufacturers are trying to simplify these lineups. And the best selling truck is the 4-doors, unfortunately. And for like the ZR2, you're only going to get that short bed. I want to say, if I remember right, GM is only doing a 5 foot, 5 1/4, whatever it is, bed on all their trucks of the midsize category now. And it's because of framing. They only want to do one frame. They can make that frame on 6 different models, and they don't have to worry about it. Where if you do the extended, you want the long bed, like the 6 foot bed. Well, you got to do a slightly different frame. And of course, all these are based around the full-size trucks anymore. It's the same framing as the full-size trucks, which is great because a lot of times full-size suspension works on these, and you can get kind of that desert stretched out look by simple additions that I personally like. But no, the ZR2 there, or this is the Trail Boss. That right there is a good looking truck in my opinion. I like that it I seen Toyota guy was like, oh look, it looks just like the Tacoma, and I'm like, where? That does not look like the Tacoma at all. I mean, by having headlights out front, sure, it's got 4 wheels. Yeah, I mean, I guess they copied them. And I used to be a fanboy of GM back in the late 80s, early 90s, but I wouldn't call myself really a fanboy of this company anymore. But I, for one, think this is a really good looking truck. I like how they up here, you can see where they put Trail Boss. Let's see if I can zoom in. It's got Trail Boss up the grill right there. I think it looks really cool. Got a big grill opening in this truck because, well, it's got a little 4-cylinder turbski in this thing. And that's the downside of this truck to me right now is you guys, if you've been around my channel long enough, I like horsepower. I like as much power as possible. And while this thing, the standard, I forget what it's like, 240 horsepower in the LT trim. They got the mid-range that makes 310, and then they've got the high output engine that's 310 horsepower, but you get like 444 foot-pound of torque. But those torque numbers are always deceiving because, yeah, turbos make a lot of torque, but you got to look at what RPM are they making the torque in there. So I will be curious to kind of get some more official numbers on the breakdown of this thing where it does. But right now, man, this is a really good looking truck. And I like that they didn't just come out of the gate with, well, here's the basic Colorado. Like they just came out of the gate where here's what we got. You're going to want it, you're not going to want it. And I'm pretty impressed with this vehicle.
Oh, same here. And like I said, I think I like the Trail Boss. Was that the ZR?
They're doing a
ZR2.
they're doing that, but they'll do the what is it, the ZR1 or whatever, and there'll be a few trims with this, but no, Trail Boss in this which I don't know which trim this exactly is. I like it, man. It looks lifted. A lot of cool features to that. I like the fenders, big plastic fenders that are sticking out a little bit.
Okay, that is the Trail Boss. There's that comes with a 2.7 twin turbo or 2.7
well,
turbo.
It's a single turbo. Yeah, but it's a 4-cylinder.
That's 2.7 4-cylinder.
It's a big 4-cylinder is what it is. I know a lot of the fanboys are disappointed that they're not getting a V6 in this, but GM is, I beat up on them maybe the last happy hour whenever we talked about GM. They're kind of a messed up company right now. They want to be EV. They're still a market for this stuff, but they're not putting all their money towards this kind of stuff. So they were like, well, we'll just pluck this engine, give it a little bit more power, and we're good to go. People will buy it. But as looks go, I think right now this is the leader in the house right now. Of course, we haven't seen it in person, but I think this is one of the best looking trucks right now.
So Dave, I in the private chat sent you the link.
Okay.
To it's Chevy's website, and if you scroll about halfway down to the exterior section,
okay,
they've got the color.
Going there now.
They got the colors.
Okay. Yeah, let's pop this up here.
Sorry, this is a show on the fly here.
Yeah, man, it's what we do best. Yeah, let's see. So this is what they call radiant red tint. It's probably a lot like my Rapid Red basically in this, and it's a good looking color. Let's start out with what I like that Chevy just calls it black. They don't come up with some like long dragged out name. That's just black. But that looks murdered out like that. Looks really good. Of course, this is a Z what model? I can't see. The Z71 or whatever they call it. Glacier blue metallic in this thing. That's not a bad looking color. Summit white. We just couldn't call it white.
Yeah,
it's Summit white.
It can't be black and white. It's got to be black and Summit white.
That's right. But I have a thing. I love trucks like this, the white with the black trim like that. To me, I don't know. It's like that stormtrooper look.
That's I'm sorry. That's fleet vehicle look. That's what that is. That's why you like it. You drive a fleet vehicle. Don't lie to yourself.
No, I didn't. I didn't say I have a Nissan fleet vehicle outside that. That's the color I would pick, but I do. Well, I did have a white Nissan Pro 4X. I must admit.
Man, I tell you, I hear galactics every time you say that.
But so Nitro yellow metallic. Now this is an interesting color. This is something like GM hasn't really done a lot of fun colors with their midsize line, and I'm excited by this. Would I purchase it? I don't know on that one. But I think it is kind of cool that they've done that color. Of course, here's the radiant red again.
No, my favorite is the last one. I think I'd have to see it in person to verify that, but I'm pretty happy about what's on the end.
This sand dune, which they've done before with their trucks, I think it was just a upper trim color at one point. Let's see. This is sterling gray metallic and what is this called? It's a harvest bronze metallic. Yeah, that is a good looking color, man.
That
is kind of like a sparkly army green sort of.
Yeah.
No, that's a great.
I'm not sure I've seen that on a vehicle. It might be a new color, may not be, but I at least from what I see on the screen, that looks pretty sharp.
Yeah, it's obviously
and different because you know me, I like to the different color.
Oh, look, we can get fancy with it. So yeah, no, that's really cool. I must admit that may be the winner in the old of what I like there. But you can see that is a good looking color. Let's see the sand dune once again, and we're not going to spend too much time on each brand. The sand dune with those red tow hooks, kind of those stand out a little bit better there. Not bad. Let's see, yellow. Now, this definitely looks like it probably changes. This is going to be one of those colors that might change in the light just a little bit. I think this is a color that Nissan used to call solar yellow. But no, that looks good. One of the things I really like about this, look how it's hard to see, but you can see the bed, the way they've aerodynamics, like kind of bringing everything back in. And the way it tucks into those taillights, that's pretty smart. I like that a lot. And let's see. Let's go with the old Glacier Blue. classic color. You can never go wrong with this kind of blue, and I like that a lot, man. But this also brings us to today. Actually, GMC, they dropped a teaser, and why I don't understand why. We know what the interior is going to look like on this thing, but in Chevy fashion, I've got to download this because why not? Come on here, guys. In the comments, let me know which one are you interested in, by the way. But here we go. So let's bring this back up. So this is the tease of the ATX4 edition from the Canyon. And now while we're only getting, a little bit of this, you can see the off-road bumper to that. Looks great. I like it. It's body matching. I'm sure that's not completely steel out there like the previous versions of these were. But I don't like the big hoop on this thing at all. I like the integrated LED lights down there. You can see the light bar up there. But this hoop, I have no need for a real hoop like that. Like if I want it, I'm going to get a real steel bumper and protect the vehicle. But I'm not interested in this, Tim. Where are you at with this teaser?
Looks like the Z71.
They're the same truck,
Yeah, exactly.
Same.
And I still don't understand why they're trying to run 2 or 3 different. It's just like the old days, right? It's same vehicle, slight modifications, different badge. And
well, it used to be real bad. You remember the old S10, S15s? Other than the grill, same truck. At least you're getting some different body lines with them now.
Yeah.
I would think it would be cool though if in the GMC if they said, "Hey, we're going to put the V6 in this one." Everybody's going to want the Colorado because that's always the bread and butter for GM is the Chevy brand. But on this one, it would be really cool if they went, you know what? You get a V6 in this one, a small displacement V6. It makes it doesn't even have to make much more horsepower, say 325.
Put that same supercharger they're putting in the Escalade V in there.
Well, yeah, you're all about that $150,000 truck though. But guys, in the comments, where you at with the teaser here? I kind of, from what I've seen of this, I might like this one a little better, just from what I've seen. Looks like it's got Goodyear Duratrax on it, which have been known to. That's what they've ran in the past on the ZR2s. Not a bad looking teaser from what we can see. You see the little red tow hooks. Like I said, once again, I do like the LED, the integrated, the way they've done that looks cool. Is this an actually functionable winch bumper? Probably not, but and they've never done that in the past, so why would they do it now? But I'm pretty excited about this truck.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, today was just a teaser, right? So
yeah,
any idea what the cadence will be for dropping teasers until they open it up a little bit
well
more?
This the 11th, so they're August 11th at 11 a.m. Why they thought it would be fun to do something like that. I'm assuming that's Eastern time is when they drop the officially the truck. And of course, I'll have it as soon as it breaks. I will have something for you guys on there, and it'll be cool. Once again, I kind of like how they're playing with these. Of course, it's got that classic GM kind of look to the running lights now, but I like how they've the body moldings matching into it. I like how the grill's kind of pushing into that a little bit. It just looks interesting. We'll learn more about that truck down the road, Tim. But let's see.
I'm sure
next.
Tim from SUV Talk Plus Pickup Truck will be probably driving one next week.
Maybe
under embargo, of course.
Well, yeah, wouldn't it be? No, they're not out just yet. But I'm sure that Tim's got the he's pretty in with the GM brand. I'm sure they're already flying out somewhere to get the previews of this thing, which is part of the, like, when you guys smash that like button for me, it gets more of their attention, these companies' attention. And I'm already on their radar, I know, but
not for a good reason though, Dave.
Well, on certain, probably Ford's not always happy with me, but I need some subs and I need that like button smash. So if you guys would do that, I would greatly appreciate that. So next up, I want to, if he's going to cooperate with me. Stupid
Sounds like
Nissan.
you need a producer, Dave.
Do what?
Sounds like you need a producer, Dave.
Well, I need something. Pull this right back up
because producer Dave is failing.
I'm not failing. I'm just
Failing at
not
his job.
prepared. All right. So next up, let's bring the Nissan Frontier up into the there we go. Bam. Let's see. No, not that.
Hey, look at me.
There it is. There it is. All right. So here is the Nissan Frontier. This came out this past year. I had spy photos of this truck 2 years ago. I got in a lot of trouble with Nissan because they had somebody up over there kind of get nasty with me. So I released the photo and they didn't like that. But I just did time in it. I did a review in this truck. I will say the fuel economy in this naturally aspirated V6, 3.8 liter V6 in this thing. I did a video a couple weeks ago, dropped that. I was pretty impressed what I was able to get out of it. And I've had many comments that said, man, you are not wrong about that. I drive 30 miles to work each way. I'm getting 25 to 26 miles per gallon in my Frontier at 70, 75 miles an hour. And that's pretty impressive for a naturally aspirated engine. No Terpskis in this one. And can you imagine 310 horsepower in this? It's, as of right now, it's still class leading. Can you imagine, though, if they dropped a supercharger on this and did a Nismo version, off-road beast? A la maybe their Warrior concept that they did with the Titan. And you get that up to about 400 horsepower because somebody with 400 horsepower is coming. And we're going to get into them a little bit later. But I think this is a good-looking truck. I like that. At first I was a little hard on Nissan because they didn't have any kind of crawl controls or anything like that. But then it kind of dawned on me, some people just want a simple vehicle. They don't need all that tech. You were talking earlier, Tim, that tech. Maybe we need more tech in this stuff. And what did I do? I'm pushing buttons. But I kind of like that Nissan was like, you know what? We want a more affordable vehicle. It still looks good. The power in this thing is really nice. It's got a 9-speed transmission in it that I was very impressed with. You're in town, you will hear it hunt for gears, but I see that in my 10-speed Bronco. You can tell it's hunting for gears a lot of times, trying to find that optimal place to be. But this truck came out last year, and this thing has been a revival for Nissan. They've sold quite a few of this thing. Been a big hit for them, and Nissan needed a big hit for their truck line, especially because, rumor has it that I've reported on this, that the Titan's going to go away. And well, this would be Nissan's only pickup truck then. But Tim, where are you at with this truck?
Well, I like it. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the front end. Got to see the inside of it, from when you did your live stream. I like that. In the bed is, big enough to haul a big screen TV from the store, but not getting stuck helping your friends move. So that's my big that's my big qualifier right there. Can I move a 75-inch TV but not put my friend's crap in the back end?
Yeah,
that's it. That's my number one. Then the tech. I'm gonna go from tech and
yeah. No, I think this is it was an enough jump because you look at it. I got in a debate a long time ago. It's like people are like, oh, it's going to look like a mini Titan. And I was like, no, it's not going to look like a mini Titan. From the spy photos I had of it, it didn't. And then they softened those up and, well, it looks like a mini Titan, except for the headlights on this thing, which boggled my mind with this truck initially because the Titan doesn't sell well. Clearly, there's something about that people weren't digging. And why would you take your little truck and make it look like something that's not selling? But Nissan knew better. The interior of this truck is pretty nice. The press loan I had was, they don't send you out anything basic. So it was fully loaded. I've owned fully loaded Nissans in the past and pretty comparable. The camera system was great. The only weakness that I ever found in this truck was the screen, the LED screen in the thing or whatever it is, LCD. It's like 8 years old. The way it's not high def. You get into like my Jeep Gladiator, super crisp, super high def looking screen. You get into this thing. It's the one thing I can ding this thing about is, well, it just doesn't hold up as well as I would like. Let me see if I can scroll through here real quick. There you go. So what you see of the screen there looks great till it hits the camera. And I don't know if it's the camera system itself that they're using, some kind of older camera system or what. But the interior of this truck, I'm really impressed with it. I like the shifter in it, everything about it, the layout of the vehicles, everything was real handy. You've got your here's your 4-wheel drive knob over here, your AC controls. Kelly dinged it for these this old style readout. It didn't bother me that much, but she didn't like it. She felt like it should have been a little more crisp, a little more current looking. But
Looks
the
like
9-inch,
like the old red LEDs.
yeah, and it
The
doesn't. If you look
segmented
at it, it
LEDs.
doesn't really seem to fit the color palette that you got going up here. Nothing over here. It just sort of stands out as like I look old. But all the hand controls, everything about it. Nissan does a really good steering wheel, and I will say there's zero gravity seats they put in these things. It's probably the best, most comfortable sitting small truck like this that I've been in yet, because the Bronco's great, but this thing, I think comfort wise sits better than the Bronco. And you guys know on the Bronco stuff, I've talked quite a bit about how I've enjoyed the Bronco, but this thing is once again, you're not getting all the crawl control features. You're getting a pure 4-wheel drive. If you want to do 4-wheel drive, you put it in 4 high, 4 low. The Pro 4X model gets a rear locker in it, where some of the other brands don't offer that as well. And I want to say for $37,000, you can get a pretty nice loaded Nissan truck. So that's where I am with that truck. I hate to say that it's getting a little bit older now, but there's that 3.8 naturally aspirated V6 in that thing, but it's been out for a while. This engine came out in 2020. They put it in the old truck. It was ready to go, and they just had, honestly, the design of this one got a little late. And so Nissan has those requirements when they're building this stuff, they're planning it out parts. They had requirements that they had to start building this motor. So they put it in the other truck, and it's done well for Nissan. And this truck is pretty nice.
So when you say naturally aspirated, are you meaning non-turboed or non-fuel
non-turbo?
injected?
It's a direct injected engine.
Okay.
But there's no turbos in this, no superchargers, anything like that. It's just you're
Gotcha.
getting the pure engine. Where, like in the Chevrolet with the 4-cylinder, if that 4-cylinder didn't have a turbo, that thing's going to it'll make like 200, 220 horsepower, and that's all that little engine's going to make. They need that turbo to kind of bump that up, and that's why I was saying earlier with the turbos, they're kind of, especially the 4-cylinders, you're like, oh, 310 horsepower, but I guarantee you, if you look at the RPMs of that, it's probably like 7,000 RPMs to make that something that you're never going to get to. Like, especially for a truck, if you want to do off-road things, you need that in the lower RPM range. 2,000 to 4,000 is where you want it for control. You want control of your vehicle.
So the big question in the chat is, where is the CD player?
In this, they don't have one.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean they don't have one?
Well, they did come.
They're the king of old tech. They ought to have a CD player.
Well,
at least
that
a
is
5-disc changer somewhere.
In the tailgate. They put it in the tailgate.
In the trunk.
Yeah, you just keep shoving them in this little hole in the tailgate, and you're like, why does it never play? This truck's broken. No, it's but I like the truck a lot, and I do hope to do some more time with that vehicle, maybe next year. Because I do want to take it off-roading and do some stuff with it. I had a little bit of a chance to do it when we went to Chattanooga with the Bronco. I about took it with us down there, but from that video, you guys can see there was nothing to really off-road about what we did. So it would have been worthless to do that.
You know what stands out and looks old to me is the hazard button.
Yes.
That I don't know, that's like that same symbol they've been using in most European and Japanese vehicles since the 70s.
Yeah.
That style of button with that symbol.
Very BMW like. That's why you're seeing that, because it's very BMW like the way they did that.
Yeah, they should be something a little better, like a person on the road getting half squashed or something with their legs up in the air and a red symbol, or something to jazz it up a little bit. I mean, come on.
Oh, I'm with you.
I bet. Matter of fact, I bet Sticker Fab guy could design something and print it out and have it out so we can put that on ours.
I'm sure Sticker Fab guy could.
I bet Sticker Fab guy would do that. So
yeah, I'm amazed with the Bronco.
Kid laying on his back, guy laying on his back, squished, feet up in the air, hazard sign.
Yeah, just dead. Yeah, like you ran over your kid backing up, and you're like, well, I got to put the hazard on now. How would I know which button to push? Well,
because I have that 360 K backup camera in there.
Well, the camera in the Nissan wasn't as good, so it was a little pixelated. You're like, was that a kid or was that a deer? Well, I'll just take my chances.
Was it a dog? Was it an elk?
Oh man, yeah, no, it's I do like I said I pick with Nissan a little bit, but that's a much improved vehicle.
Yeah.
I like in the truck and that when you drive it, the steering feels heavy and not like oh man, it just feels like a full size truck almost when you're driving it, which I appreciate. I don't. So one thing, it's a hydraulic system still. A lot of these trucks and cars are going to this electric system, like what our Bronco has, and you
Yes.
can turn it with your finger almost. Like there's no. I kind of like some resistance.
You know, it was funny. So going back to driving to Sorrento, um, last couple of days, it's got the electric steering in it. Had it in the Stinger, loved it. Had the ability to adjust the resistance on it in the Stinger. Sorrento is what it is. But I've noticed that I was drifting all over the place because it
Oh
is
yeah,
so much softer than what I'm used to in the Bronco.
yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely a different driving experience. Of course, you're on 35-inch tires now, a little bit wider tire. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's probably yeah, this is like playing with a Hot Wheel almost to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a nice vehicle though. But speaking of nice vehicles, this one I talked about earlier, it made a comeback. They killed it off in 2011, and why do I keep doing that? Let's see, let's do that. It came back in 2011, and it's the Ford Ranger. We've seen this vehicle in Australia for years, and everybody was like, "How come Australia is getting a cool version of a small mid-sized truck, and Ford, you're leaving America out in out in the dust, as it were?" And then they got a Raptor version of that, and people in America here were shitting themselves. They're like, Why are we not getting that vehicle?" And so finally, Ford was like, "You know what? Okay." They knew Bronco was coming. They're very similar layouts. The Bronco is on the newer chassis that they're building for the next gen Ranger, but they had an opening spot at the plant, so they just built them together. And other than a few kind of minor tweaks they had to do for U.S. safety standards, it's pretty close to being what the Australians got, and I like it a lot. I liked it. I liked it for the few years that it was in Australia. The problem is now that we have it in America, it looks old. Because as a person who looks at we all like, if you watch Fast and Furious, obviously a Nissan GTR is like a dream car that we couldn't have, that makes it more desirable because we couldn't have it. Well, I think that was the problem with this was like, it was so cool. We're like, oh, I can't have it. Now I want it. And well, Ford brings it, and
Yep.
sales initially have been pretty good, but now they're just tanking because old Farley opened his mouth and said, "Oh yeah, the next we're about to start the next one, and you're getting a Raptor." And people are like, "Whoa, let's pump the brakes here, man. We're getting a Raptor." Like, and then cheap Americans that we are, we're like, "Oh, I bet that Raptor will be $30,000. It'll be affordable
Mhm.
Raptor. I can say I got a Raptor in my driveway." Well, don't expect that. I priced one out the other day on the Australian market, and if you do the currency exchange, I think it was $59,000 is what their version of a Raptor is going to cost. And I guarantee you, here in America, it'll be about 62 is where it's going to be at, which is ridiculous for all these trucks. And we're going to get into the pricing because that's where these little trucks start to lose out a little bit. But overall, I like this. This is the Tremor package that they launched this past fall. Um, I think it looks really good. Obviously, Tremor form, it's more off-roady, and it's going to do fun off-road things. Um, I just was happy that Ford brought a pickup truck back. The only bummer is you get the 4-cylinder, and that's it. One option, much like Chevrolet, you're getting that
Mm.
just their little 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine, which cranks out the horsepower now. It actually does pretty well for them. But once again, you got to hit those high RPMs for that horsepower. But leaf system in this thing, so it actually
Ooh.
can tow a little bit and act like a truck. Where some of these vehicles are getting so soft now that they don't want to. You put a bucket in the back of it, and then suddenly it feels like they're sinking down to their bump stops.
Fun.
But this truck is it was nice to see Ford attempt to bring something back. Of course, this I'm pretty sure they filmed this at Windrock. Because I want to say, if I remember right, there was a spot where I exactly know right where they were at. But it was cool to see Ford not just bring a truck back, because a lot of people think of midsize trucks as, well, they're just kind of delivery trucks. That's, that's the value of it. And Ford and Chevrolet were very bad about that. The old S10s were more delivery trucks than they were personal vehicles, and they just didn't value them. Like, I think Toyota and Nissan was like, hey, people like to adventure, then overlanding came around in the late 2009, somewhere that came a hip term to go off-roading. And now all these companies are wanting to do these off-road things. Tim, where you at with this truck?
Well, because they know we got big bucks to spend. That's why they all want to get into the overlanding market.
That's right.
But I am kind of interested to see the next generation Ranger. I'd probably entertain it. Once again, being a taller guy at 5'13", I got to make sure I fit into the cabin. Okay. Now, if it's going to share a lot of the same, the same underlying chassis and everything, I would hope that, I could get in there like I can get in the Bronco.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, maintains a small bed, big enough to bring the 75-inch TV home from the Best Buy, but not have to move your buddy's crap. So checks my box.
Yeah, no, I mean, and clearly, like I said, it does off-roady things. I don't care for the stripes on this particular trimmer package that they do, but the trimmers usually look nice with their orange.
I would almost prefer to get without the graphics package. And that's the nice thing about vinyl nowadays. You can cut it, change it, you get sick of it, peel it off. Or if you sell it to Carvana, you can just peel it off and sell your
our buddies over at Shocker Racing sold their Bronco and just peeled it. They wouldn't take it unless they peeled it off. They're like, all right,
for a profit at that.
Yeah. So. They didn't want to do that either. They wanted to sell that vehicle to an individual that would love it, and sadly, they're just bringing too much money.
Yeah, the problem with that, I'll just throw this out real quick. When you personalize it like that, that cuts down the number of people that are going to want it.
Oh, of course.
That's the devil. But that's the nice thing about the vinyl. You can take that off relatively easy and not have a mess left behind.
Yeah. So Mobile says, Dave, do you think will there be a separate plans to build the Ranger and Armorox? Yes, there are, because the Armorox are going to be built in South America. And that's not for the U.S. market. They're not bringing that. It's part of Ford's deal with it is, hey, we'll help develop that truck and we'll share the platform, but you can't bring it to the United States. So, but the Ranger, it was in the news this week that the Ranger just added a brand new in South America. They added a new body stamping, or I think it was stamping, that they added a new plant for that part of the process. So, sadly, we're not going to get, the last Armorox, those were cool. And why Volkswagen felt the need to, I guess they just didn't want to spend the development costs. Why not share it with somebody? But yeah, it's a bummer that we don't get the last one, because it was really cool. But these steps look familiar to you, Tim?
No,
they look just like what's on the Everglades.
No.
Yeah, it's the same.
Could
steps.
Be. Sure, it's the exact same steps.
But yeah, let's let this play just a minute more. Ranger has a nice history in the United States, though. If you think about, with all these little trucks, Nissan was the first to bring the pup truck, as it were, to the United States, and then Toyota followed along, and then, well, all the other brands. See, I know right where this is, or I'm pretty damn sure I know right where this is. All the other brands were like, holy shit, we got to develop a truck. So what'd they do? They bought, Nissan was buying, or Chevrolet bought, what was it? The little Couriers. They were little Isuzus, if I remember right. Ford was buying up
the Chevy Love.
Yeah. The Ford was buying up the the Mazdas and just importing it. And then we get the whole stupid chicken tax crap where, these guys were worried that the imports had an upper hand on them, and they, they're importing these trucks, they're going to flood the market with it and devalue our trucks. So whole goofy chicken tax on that. But I like this Ranger a lot.
That's why we wound up with seats in the truck bed.
Oh yeah, the
seats and seat belts to classify it as a small vehicle, not a pickup truck.
Yeah,
or a light truck.
But once again, I'm happy that the Ford has brought back the Ranger. I will be happy. You guys know I've talked about next long-term tester that we will get will probably be the I'm gonna pull it up here. Ford Ranger Raptor, hopefully.
Now, is that going to be Dave's Raptor or is that going to be Kelly's Raptor? And Dave will have the Bronco finally.
I think we all know what'll happen.
It'll be Kelly's Raptor.
It was, even this one was mine. Like
I did hear that admission last night in the live stream.
Yeah.
I hope you clip that and make that your ringtone.
Nah, she would say it again. I don't have to worry about it. But this is the next midsize truck for me that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I feel like that's photoshopped.
Nah, that's not photoshopped. they probably added a little
shadow in there, buddy.
Well, there's video of it doing this stuff. There is
that's fake news.
Fake news. But I like the look of this thing. I've never, even with the normal Raptors, I've never been big on the Ford stretched out like that, but it doesn't bother me on this thing. The performance of this vehicle, especially once we heard the Bronco Raptors numbers, and it's using the same engine, and I don't see them detuning that engine, that I have a feeling 418 horsepower in this thing. And that's where some of these other midsize trucks with like Chevys with their new the ZR2 and all that they're wanting to do, those numbers are going to be left in the dust. Yeah, I think the GM products are going to be first to market probably by a couple months. But if I have to choose between this, waiting an extra couple months, or the GM, which I'll be honest, I do think the Chevrolet looks a little better than this. But performance of this particular vehicle, I think, is going to be so much fun. I would love this thing to line this thing up against a couple full-size trucks, and I bet it eats them.
So do you think this will be a limited production?
No, not really. The only real limited productions were the first couple of years of Raptor, and that was because they just didn't sell. I think this. I think they're all out. They want to sell as many as possible. High profit on this truck.
Yeah. So this is that the 3-liter?
Yes.
Okay.
Twin turbo.
Is that the same one they're going to put in the Maverick?
No, they're not putting a. You were teasing me earlier before we started. So they're not putting that in a Maverick.
That's what I heard. I read it on the internet.
Oh well, the internet would never lie to you.
Yep.
But once again,
Jim Farley tweeted it out.
Yeah. This truck excites me. It still sounds like a trombone. There's nothing you can do with these smaller motors. And even so I was listening to some of the clips I got from GM with the new Colorado. You hear the poor turbo just whistling as it goes by, and you're just like, that poor little thing's just stressing out.
Got the blowout valve on it.
The only bummer for me is there's 33s on this thing right now, which they look good on it. But I would think for the US market, you can already get 35s with the big Raptor, the big brother. This is going down the same lines that you can get 35s on the Sasquatch package Broncos. It'll be going right down the same line. Why would you not want to go ahead and put 35s on this thing? Because Ford seem to like zero fucks given about it. Like, hey, we're 35, screw it. They did it with the Raptor. Oh, now 37s, that's the new 35. Sure, let's do that with the Raptor. Why not, man? I think that if they did some sort of a 35 special trim for this, it would be really fun.
I'll tell you what, I am starting to see that same crappy looking fender that's on a Bronco Raptor, that slimy, cheap plastic looking stuff.
What, on this?
Yeah.
You get the hell out of here, sir.
No.
Well, here we go. He's gone. I had to pull him out.
They need to sprinkle that with fairy dust. And it's a cheap. I don't know. It's a wet looking plastic.
It's that kind of, there's sparkle to it. When you see these up close, there's a little shimmer to it. I know what you're saying. I think the fenders on the ZR2 look better.
Like cheap. It just looks like cheap injection molding. At least the molding color fenders on the Bronco look substantial.
You know what they figured out though about this? There's mud flaps, because they know this thing's it's gonna be chewing up the dirt. It's gonna be throwing it everywhere, and you don't want it. Clearly, a $62,000 truck. You don't want this thing throwing new paint chips into your truck. But if you look at the front wheel, definitely some fun there. I think it's a great looking truck though. I'm not big on the railing here that they have, But if you see it there and then you see it there, it's without it. Will they bring that to the States? I don't know. That's a big thing in the Australian market. They like that kind of stuff.
It's a sail, I think, is what GM refers to it as. And I don't know. Maybe it's for aerodynamics to kind of wrap that around just a little bit, give it a rounded edge.
But I am very excited by this vehicle. I've already told Mitchell Watts over at TC Customs, Town and Country Ford, that as soon as this generation, and I'll tell this to everybody, we talked privately about it, and I don't have any issues telling you guys. Much like with the Bronco, if you're interested in this truck or even the GMs, put your reservation down, and you can always pause that reservation and try to get first in line to. Because I guarantee you, with Ford, they're going to bring out the. Let me think about this. So Ford brought out everything like the GM did. So maybe they'll just bring it all out at once, and your ability to order them all at the same time. This will be a hot truck, though. The first time they've done this in a mid-size truck, it's going to be a hot truck. But Mitchell said, get your order in, throw down the $100 or whatever the deposit is, reservation is, and he's like, hey, this is what we'll do. We'll pause your order, or I can try to get it right into getting one of these things. But I would order it in this cold orange, and I would be happy all day long, Tim. All day long, I would love that truck.
It's got those running boards too. I know you don't like those.
The what?
It's got those running steps on there.
Oh, that crap would come off in a heartbeat. Yeah, no, that's garbage. I'd put real rock sliders on it.
It's body mounted, right?
Yeah, that's why I'd put real rock sliders on it. And I would really take this. This would go any place my Bronco was going. More than likely, this would go because Kelly likes off-roading the SUV style vehicles, and I like mid-sized trucks to do rock crawling.
I think you should get an overlanding frame in there in the back end. Get you rooftop tent on there.
Put a couple gas tanks that I'll never put fuel in on the side.
Absolutely.
The kitchen sink in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I'll stamp All-Terrain Nation overlanding rig.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
I'll sell you the name. I'll sell you the name. You just buy me my own Raptor and I'll give you the name.
Sure. Why not, Tim?
I mean, you got the inside skinny, right?
Oh, sure, man. Yeah. No problem on that. And speaking of no problem,
I'll even let you take it as a tax write-off.
Well, my vehicles now are tax write-offs. Trust me. Honest Smith throwing down the whole 1.11. Look at that. $1.11. Honest, you're killing me, dude. I love those crazy numbers like that. And I do greatly appreciate that. Poking fun at it. But any support we get, you guys offer means a lot to us. And we talked a little bit about that last night. So I don't want to go too deep into the paint, but we have memberships, $5 a month. I get maybe $3 of that, to be honest, because YouTube takes their chunk.
Got the YouTube tax.
At the end of the month, that little bit that everybody helps donate helps. I'm not doing this as a full-time job right now, though that's the goal. But I'm not getting rich on that. I can tell you that.
There's a Miss Kelly tax.
Yeah, there's the Kelly. Bottles of Tito's tax.
Well, she was polishing something off last night too. I saw that look when she was all like.
She brought orange juice out because of the whole COVID thing. I don't know why she's drinking orange juice, but then I was like, we have some champagne in there. It's mimosa time. And she was like, hell yeah, it is. And so, I polished about 4 of those down, and we had a good show last night. But
and
to wrap this up, if you guys would smash that like button for me, hold on, Tim. Smash that like button for me. I've got 86 in the stream right now, and only 40 likes. Believe it or not, it's free to do when you push that little button, and it helps other people find my channel. So I greatly appreciate when you do that. Go ahead, Tim. What'd you have?
I was just saying it's got orange juice in it, so it's healthy. Drink up.
Oh, clearly. Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
No, honestly, the membership stuff helps fund as far as like stream, like all this stuff costs, believe it or not. There's nothing, YouTube is free. Guess what? To do all this extra stuff, it costs a lot of money. So you think those neon lights back there are paying for themselves? I don't think that's expensive.
No,
look at that. It changes color.
I'm not gonna lie. Dave told me he got those out of the local strip club that was closing down because the economy was so bad.
Well, the poll's over here. So I got that too.
There you go.
That's when the super chats come out. That's I'll go the poll.
Jeez, man.
Oh man. All right, so Tim, let's talk about the big.
Next thing you know, Dave's going to be auctioning off his panties.
Well,
Watch
yeah,
out.
I never
We'll
say
be in
never.
trouble.
Never say never. And let's talk about the big boy, the 250,000. I can't even imagine how many. Like, I remember working for Nissan when we were building 50 to 80,000 Frontiers, thinking, "Holy shit, we're building a lot a day." I can't imagine a day at the Toyota factory building these little things. But we are talking about the Tacoma, man. The big boy. She's starting to look a little old, but that hasn't slowed down sales. It's one of the most uncomfortable vehicles I've ever been in. It sits much like the old late 80s truck sit. Like, it's very you stretch out. It's not a natural seating position. It's very Japanese, we'll say, is the way it sits because of the way they I guess that culture likes to sit. I don't know. But you can't help but admire this thing. This thing has been the king of the block for a long time. And while we do know that they are testing the next generation out, I've done some videos on that. If you want, you can go back. We have playlists on all this stuff. So if you want to watch all of what I do on a particular video, you can do that. But there's the next generation coming out, and I hate to say it, if you've seen the current Tundra, you've seen the current Tacoma, just this mini version of it. And I don't know, man. I like the Tundra with once you lift them a little bit, put some aggressive looking tires.
Yeah.
But in factory form, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the picture I saw, the front end, it looked like a 4Runner. That big open mouth looking grill that the 4Runner's got on it right now, it didn't interest me at all.
Yeah.
I think obviously they've got a good name and they've got a good track record for reliability. And so I think that draws a lot of people to the brand. I go back to my experience with the FJ and close to 300,000 miles on that thing when I traded it in. It got hit 4 times and it was solid as a rock.
Later, Gene. Thank you.
And so I think that kind of reliability has drawn people to that brand, and they do become brand loyal.
Well, the cool thing that Toyota does that a lot of people, reliability, they're always been known for that. But what they do is they don't build a lot of times manufacturers want to build a part for about 100,000 miles of use.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after that, it'll get aftermarket or whatever. Toyota, like, they seem to go for like, no, we want to build our parts to 150,000, and I'm just throwing these numbers out. I don't know exactly their long-term goal, but they do overbuild product. It's well known in the industry that they build, if they're going to build something, they've built their brand on their reputation is built on this quality. So you can't skimp out on it. And they do tend to cost a little bit more. There's no way around that. You can't hide the fact that if you go price anything Toyota, it's a little bit more than you probably were expecting. But the quality vehicle. And you said with your FJ, like, did you ever have any major problems with that?
I had some axle issues at the very end, and that's what prompted me to trade it in. Otherwise, I would have kept it. I wasn't. I would have kept it for myself, for my son. He learned to drive in it, and I tell you, that also made me feel comfortable because I'm like, dude, it was in the wintertime. I'm like, go with it. If you go off the road, we'll get it back up. It ain't no big deal.
Did you see Papa Bear over at TFL sold they're trying to buy something. I have a feeling it's their Raptor R is what they're saving up for. But they sold their 14 FJ for $30,000 to my buddy's Nissan dealership in Colorado. My buddy Joey Parent over there, $30,000.
Yeah.
Like, and it had like 140,000 miles or something on it. It was ridiculous. And he opened it up to get something out of the back, and all the plastics looked like it's been used, it's not like showroom new, but I couldn't believe the price of it. And but if you go to the Tacomas, you look at them on a used lot, man, you better get ready to open up your checkbook because they are going to cost you some money.
I got a little over $8,000 on trade-in for mine with, like I said, close to 300,000 miles on it. And it was in good shape. It was taken care of. Now, I tell you what, they actually had recorded an accident where it creased up the fender, and I got it fixed. but Carfax had taken it as if the airbag had deployed. So
Yeah.
with that, I mean, the resale value or the
Yeah.
trade-in value was crap. But fortunately, the dealership that I had taken it to also had the auto repair shop that did the work, and they were able to validate that no, the airbag didn't get replaced and it didn't deploy. And then I got a what I would consider actually a pretty good trade-in value for it. And the thing was gone in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Somebody else drove it around, and I think it's still moving in the area.
Keith says that it's expensive to have a fire in the background. That is true. That is true. Gotta throw the man a couple of shills to keep
nuclear fusion. I harnessed
Well,
it.
then that's not too expensive.
Joe Biden authorized me to capture that from the sun, and I brought it back. And if you watch the video a couple weeks ago when I was up in the Wisconsin Dells, they actually had a problem with it. I guess they're environmentalists up there and did not allow me to bring that into the hotel. So I had to pack it back up and leave it in the Bronco for the night. So I was just using their tree hugging background there in the hotel.
We got Dr. Detroit in the house, by the way.
Well, I'm pulling shit out of my ass tonight.
Let's see. Help man, he needs some gas. Thank you, Honest. What I need right now is I need people to smash that like button for me. Literally, that's what I need. I only got 44 likes right now. But
Dave, I was just you're lacking in your duties. See, Dr. Detroit thinking Woodward Cruise. We're all going to be out there.
We'll be in. I will be in the Detroit area. I think you're coming up. I know Bronco Wild Outdoors is coming up. We're gonna do the cruise, man. And I did it last year. Had a blast. Ford's going to release some news. I think we're going to see the Heritage F-150, a couple other little things. Did you notice that Ford pushed out back their order banks?
I did not see that.
It was supposed to open up today, was my understanding. And they've, though I think it was the later at the end of the month. People in the Maverick forums were all upset about it. Why? I don't know. It's like, it doesn't affect you. If they order banks open today, they've already said they're not building 23s till a certain date. So it doesn't matter when you get in there.
But I could get my order in first.
Well, maybe. But we're going to be at the Woodward Dream Cruise there in Detroit. I will be up there that Friday sometime before, and we're going to try to do that Saturday, do the cruise. I'd like to meet up with a bunch of people if we can in the Michigan area before the cruise. There's the Ford drive-in or whatever they call it up there. I'd like to go to. Tim, I'm taking the Bronco, and I'm going to get a picture of it in front of Map. So
we can line them up. Why don't we just meet at Map? Jim, can give us a tour.
There's barely anywhere to pull over in front of Map, let alone.
Look, it's only illegal if the police are there. You know what? Do it. Don't ask. You did this with Jeep with Steliatis.
Yep.
Don't whip out. We'll just say we're lot porters and we're.
Well, if you see where Jeep, the plan is for Jeep, it's much easier to get a picture in front of that place than it is Map. Though I did get the Gladiator in front of Map last year.
We will stop traffic and do our own photo shoot. And
that's right. Mobile says meet up at the Map display stand. That's where that's about the only place you can pull over. But it was cool though. I had the Gladiator out there last year, and I was looking. They had the display stand. I was out there looking at I forget, it was a Big Ben or something they had out there, and people were honking, waving that we were checking out the Broncos. Man, very proud to build that vehicle there, I will say. So, anyway, so I kind of wrap up on Tacoma. This thing, the motor in this thing is underpowered. It's a dinosaur. How they keep continuing to sell what they do of this thing is the quality, what people have known of it. It is a pretty solid truck. Off-roading, it's got all the little crawl control features if you get into the TRDs and stuff. I do wish they would simplify their trim levels a little bit. I think they've gotten a little crazy. You get a TRD Pro. You get the backflip TRD version. You get the SR5. Like, there's just so many different versions. It's almost ridiculous trying to keep up with the brand. But I like this truck a lot. I've not done a long drive with one, but I have been in them, and I get why they're popular. Toyota always does fun colors too, which we saw in the Chevrolet a little bit ago. That's them taking on Toyota. Toyota will do the lime colors. They'll do the khakis. They have zero issues about throwing some fun colors out there. Much like
Jeep fighting against Toyota or fighting against Jeep, because Jeep doesn't seem to have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Jeep. I was about to say that with the Gladiators and stuff.
I
Yeah,
was looking to buy one, and the color code was pumpkin, not pumpkin, but pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. That's about as
Wow.
hillbilly as it gets. Pumpkin.
Hey, you're up north. I'm in the south. We're supposed to be the redneck talk here. Let's pull this. See if I can find a picture of this real quick. But I will pull up the last one to talk about is the Jeep Gladiator, which is kind of like that. What is it exactly? It's a midsize truck. It's a little bit long. It feels like to be a midsize truck, but it is a midsize truck.
Oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm sorry. I got to put it back the other way. I was wondering if anybody knew what that the symbol was. But
you're always showing off, Tim. You're always showing off.
I try to be.
Let's see. All right. So here is the Gladiator as we wrap this thing up. That is my Gladiator.
Is that a hard top or is that a soft top?
Mine is a hard top.
Okay, so you don't have the man bun look, do you?
I wouldn't. Honestly, in the Gladiators, I wouldn't have the soft top. I think they don't look great. And I like the way the hard top looks on this. I specifically went for this color in this because I just liked it. It was different. But this is a Willys edition Gladiator. So you're getting 32.5-inch tires, something like that. You're getting MTs. I did change the bumper out because it just had the more traditional bumper. Other than that, it's all factory. This thing's been great. The engine in this thing, I have to say, has been pretty nice. We've had this thing in the shop to have one thing checked out, and it turned out it was nothing. Kelly was hearing what she thought was some popping noises, which I think part of it was she wasn't used to the old school front end. Other than that, zero issues with the thing. We get the oil changed, drive it around. I've just put over 10,000 miles on this thing. Gonna hate when this one goes. I really am. I like this vehicle a lot. Off-roading this truck, I will say, in this platform, I would go for Rubicon. I wouldn't play around with the lesser models. There's too many limitations. The way the computer controls everything, wheel spin and everything in these lower models that I don't like.
Now, can you turn that off?
I don't know if you can. If you get their, they have a plug-in, kind of like the Forescan. I forget what Taser or something like that with the Jeeps.
Oh yeah.
I know there's a lot you can do with some stuff, but I haven't. It's like $300, and I knew this was a short ownership, so I was like, I'm not throwing $300 at it.
What are you gonna do with the all-terrain on the hood?
I'm gonna leave that there. I don't think anybody will notice. It did say Willys in the old school script Willys, but I don't think anybody will notice if I leave that on there.
Yeah, to me, Gladiators are such a weird looking vehicle. But the original one, when I first started looking at them, at the dealer lot, they had the little sports tires on them, the little car tires. And to me, that didn't look very appealing.
Yeah, they do an Overland version. And you would think with the Overland, they might do a more aggressive all-terrain tire or something bigger. But no, they're very street tires. And yeah, I know what you're saying.
But, looking at the tires you got on those are factory then, or the wheels that are on there?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the bigger ones, seeing the ones that like the Rubicon that I almost bought in pumpkin orange.
I like that color in it.
That was a nice vehicle. But I don't know. I think the way the tires sit just changes the whole stance of the vehicle. With the smaller sports, just standard all-terrain tires, they don't look very good, and it just kind of changes the shape of it to me. Now the bigger tires, I think, gives a little bit more aggressive stance, and I've seen some kitted out ones that with much bigger tires on
these. Oh my God, they look how they should have came from the factory.
I think maybe I don't know. They were huge.
Yeah,
I can dig up some pictures. I was impressed.
What's funny, I always this is parked next to our Bronco with the small 35s. And I always think, man, it looks so tiny compared to the Bronco. But my dad brought over his old, he's got a little Sonoma. And it's the early 2000s little GMCs. And the little 28-inch tires or whatever that thing had on it next to the Gladiator is like, holy hell, the Gladiator looks tall, looks cool. I actually have a 1-inch leveling kit for this thing that I've never stupid.
I personally think you should squat it and then see if you can get Whistling Diesel to buy it so he can, do whatever he does.
Oh,
on video.
sure. Let's
I think that's the way to do it.
Gotta get rid of these guys.
I could probably find out how to get a hold of them. He's from up by where my wife used to live.
He lives here.
Well, now he does, but he's from northern Indiana.
Yeah,
in the Amish countries.
Yeah, no, I know where he lives. I keep kind of poking the bear with him just a little bit. I'd like to interview him, and because I think that poor guy is just sort of misunderstood. I get his humor. Don't take anything too seriously. These vehicles, they're fun, but don't take them too seriously. But let me get to Matt. Matt has a question. Any guesses on what the 23 Colorado MPGs are going to be? That's a good question. There's
17 and a quarter in town.
I haven't seen, have they released anything?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just saying 17. That's a good number.
I would honestly probably 18 to 23, which I don't think for going down an engine like it is with a little turbo engine, I don't think that's good enough. On the highway, I'm sure you can get 24, 25 out of it probably. But no diesel option in that thing anymore either, which a lot of people were upset about that kind of they're doing away with those. So did I get all the porn out of here? I think I did.
Was there porn? Did I miss porn? Holy crap.
Sorry, man. Well, there's truck porn, but anyway, so but as far as the Gladiator, I think this is a fun vehicle in the mid-sized truck market because it's not conventional. Clearly you can see the doors and roof are off on this thing, which I think is fun. I really this is one of my more popular videos, my little 3-month review that I've done on this thing. And I think the fun of this vehicle is, as you can see, take the doors, roof off. I can still go to Home Depot if I need to haul stuff. It's got it's a 5.5-foot bed on the thing. You throw the tailgate down, you get 6.5, something like that. So I can put plywood in it if I needed to. I didn't buy this truck, obviously, I'm not going to do construction with it. So no worries about that. But I think it fits. There's a need that this vehicle fits that my buddy Tim Esterthal over at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, we've debated this many times that he's like, it's a one and done. They won't make a second generation of this vehicle. And initially, if you looked at the initial sales, you would have been like, yeah, he's probably right. But something about it was just slow to start, and they're doing 70 to 80, 90,000 of these things a year now. So I don't see Jeep taking away from that. And they're fun. They really are. I've off-roaded this thing. It's not been too bad. Light trail use. I'd like to have the Rubicon package once again, because I did get this thing stuck and had to be pulled out by a Bronco, which was embarrassing. Because the computer-controlled drivetrain of this thing, it just would not allow you to do anything. It just doesn't want any RPMs. But after that, very happy with this truck. And
that's why I was asking if you could turn that stuff off.
Yeah, I know. I believe on the Rubicon, there's some stuff where there's a button to bypass some of that stuff. But this is a lesser trim. It's like a Sport Plus. So it's not the complete entry level, but it's not even close to a mid trim level. Very nice though. Heated seats, steering wheel, 7.5-inch screen in the thing.
I heard the seats are
it doesn't have wireless CarPlay, but it does have CarPlay, wired CarPlay. The sound system in that thing is one of the best sound systems, especially for the base price of this thing in the segment. Between that and the Nissan has the Fender audio system, and I think sounds great. Just amazing. I was very impressed with this, and especially if you get into this and then you go back to the Bronco, which has a lesser sound system.
Yeah. So
different.
G. Willikers brought up a good statement here to one of the last comments there. We want to bring it up.
Where are we at? Let's see here.
Down at the bottom. He's talking about something like a smaller cab, like the old Scramblers.
Yeah. Well, I do think they did a disservice calling it a Gladiator. They should have called it a Scrambler. All the fans thought that's what they were going to name it. Why they chose Gladiator? I mean, it seems to work for them, but
the Gladiator was Jeep's truck, but it was a traditional truck. Which I would have liked to have seen them make a traditional truck again. And to your point, call this one the Scrambler. But I think those are kind of like the old half cab, Broncos. So they were smaller. We've got actually a couple of people here in the area have got some restored scramblers that look pretty nice.
See, Bronco 78 says, how bad do you think the midsize truck market will hurt full size market over the next couple of years? I don't think it's going to hurt it at all. I think it's a different, Maverick, and you can include Maverick really in this midsize because the Maverick is not tiny by any means. You could include it in this list, but Maverick sales are through the roof. People have a need. What people of me and Tim's generation, probably especially, we remember trucks being trucks. That's all they were. They were just basic forms of transportation. They were made to be bumpy rides, haul things when you needed it to, and you had a family truckster. You had a station wagon or a nice sedan that was the nice riding travel car. Well, anymore, your trucks are so nice that it can be a multi-purpose vehicle now. You don't need the sedan for the long trips. Trucks get pretty good gas mileage. Why, especially with a lot of people working from home now, people don't need 2-3 vehicles. The truck fits that need perfectly, but like Jill Seminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, she lives in Chicago. The idea of a full-size truck for her, there's not a lot. She can't park it anywhere. So the midsize truck for bigger city people, maybe the midsize truck makes more sense. And once again, they're plush on the interiors. I guarantee you there'll be a capstone version of the Toyota Tacoma. They're going to do some $70,000 little truck. I guarantee you they make something out of that. And so you're people that want the features, that kind of just want a truck to throw their golf clubs or whatever, snooty thing you want to do that, you can do. There's going to be a truck for everybody. And I think that's the plus of the midsize market.
Well, and I also think it speaks to the fuel economy with gas prices going up. I don't need the big truck. Maybe they're like me and I don't want to haul their friends' crap around from apartment to apartment.
Yeah.
So they want the utility of the truck and sometimes maybe the styling of the truck, but not necessarily have the full size truck. And so I can see that, very easily. And I'm even kind of debating, we, Emily and I, over the last couple of years, while I was waiting, I pretty much parked my car waiting for the Bronco to be delivered and produced just because I was afraid that getting into an accident might cause a problem with my resale value of my Stinger, because it was a hot car. I mean, so for the longest time we were just driving on one car, and it didn't bother us one bit, unless there was don't have a part. Momomoto, you're absolutely right, and I guess I can't be your friend. So
right. So let's get to the poll. Honest one, he said around this time, so I'm pinning that message there. So as of right now, the Toyota is winning out. 22% Toyota, 18% GM, 18% Nissan. Let's go ahead and just end this so it wraps this up. 17% Nissan now, 17% GM. Toyota's at 22%. Ford is 41%. Well, we know I have a large Ford audience, so I think it's skewed slightly.
So now, David, do you think if you put GM and GMC in there, both, and then added those numbers, that it would be a larger number than Ford?
Do you double 17?
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Bring your questions or comments. I got a few more minutes. We can do this. Bronco 78. If you get a 4x4, then fuel mileage will not be much different from a midsize to full size. I don't know. The EcoBoost, Ford's proven that EcoBoost, even in their 4-wheel drive systems, they can crank some mileage out of those little things. So I think as long as Ford doesn't go too crazy, I know the Australians are getting I want to say they're doing a 3-liter diesel that we'll never get. They're going to do the 4-cylinder. It's probably a 2.3 is what you're going to get in their lower trims. And then I think probably the only V6 you get in the Ranger is honestly the Raptor.
So I'm kind of curious what kind of gas mileage Bronco 78 gets in that 78 Bronco XLT Ranger. But 8 miles to the gallon?
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Speaking of that, Doug DeMuro did he dropped a video on the a Dodge Charger SUV, the Ram Charger. It was cool to see. It brought back a lot of memories, man. I used to see those things floating around, but it was a 92, 93, something like that. Clean little thing. Was really, really cool. 10 miles per gallon, he says, with premium fuel.
Yeah. Miles of the gallon.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but like these, then you get into the big SUVs, we're talking about the trucks being nice. The big SUVs used to be plain, nobody wanted them. And that if you look at that Doug DeMuro video, it proves that they were just thought of as hunting vehicles, basically. And now, that 150,000, what was it that you were looking at?
Oh, the Everglades V.
Yeah, that thing was ridiculous. 6.2 liter supercharged engine.
Yep. It rivaled on the numbers. It rivaled the TRX and the Raptor R.
I'd still rather have the truck. Though, those are going to be bargains. That's the thing with GM. As we wrap this beating of GM down, that's the thing though. Like those Cadillacs, the Black Wings and all that. I think in 5-6 years, 20K gets you a hell of a hot rod. And the same goes with that Suburban, man. At some point, people aren't going to know what they are. Right now, probably you couldn't, out of 100 people, maybe one might know what that thing is. In typical GM fashion, they're going to change 16 times the name of that thing. They'll forget about it, forget they actually built it. And then 10 years, you can get a, 600 horsepower or something SUV you'll get it for 10 grand.
Supercharged
Supercharger 10 grand.
You can still get gas for it.
Let's see. Honest has a question for you, Tim. It's like he would like a snow backdrop, please.
Snow backdrop, Kentucky.
It's not. Yeah, it's still summer. Honest, don't rush winter here just yet. I am excited to get to Woodward, to Detroit there, because last year the temperatures were perfect, man. It was 75 or so, just cool enough at night when you were driving back with Dr. Detroit had the doors and roof off that thing, and it was just a little bit chilly driving back at night, but should be fun. I am excited that of course you're coming up.
Yep.
Or you're going to try to come up. Bronco Wild Outdoors, Driven Wild Outdoors will be up. Dwayne and Becky will be up, so that'll be kind of fun. Hell of a haul for them, but I think they should have a blast doing it. The Dream Cruise, if you've not ever seen this thing, and I don't care if you're 1,000 miles away, you should experience it one time in your life. It's the largest car show I've ever seen in my life. They're just cruising the strip. All these people, especially in that area, they build their car people. Detroit was made on the backs of car people, and they all love cars. I don't know anybody up there that just works for the industry that just is like, well, it's a freaking job. They all seem to love cars, and you see it at this Dream Cruise, and it's just ridiculously long. I literally last year I was like, we got back on it, so we did the main area of the strip where Ford had their booth, and we got on the interstate. We were doing something, and I forget, we had to get off to do something, and I didn't realize we got off was Woodward again, and it was still people cruising the strip, man. So it should be a really fun time. So like I said, we're going to try to do something. We'll try to have a little meetup of something, nothing formal, but I'm sure I'll have a couple shirts around, something fun. We'll do something. I'm sure Tim's got a sticker over there that you put, what is it? The Power of Tim's.
Oh yeah. I got those somewhere, but I got
Tim's got patches.
I got patches.
Yeah,
and
you can't see yours currently because I've got the Blantons is covering it up. But I've told Johnny's Car Care that I need a photo. I need a signed photo of Johnny back there. Yeah, I don't think he takes it.
You don't get a signed photo of Johnny. Where you want it is a signed photo of Winston.
That is true.
That's the moneymaker on that channel is Winston.
You got to feed a puppy, right?
That's right. There we go. Without the cellophane.
There you go. Is that you? Is that a realistic photo? Like you take your shirt off, you're that hairy?
Yeah, absolutely. I was a sailor. Come on. You know I'm hairy.
Oh
right.
man.
It's not like we waxed each other's backs out at sea or anything.
Well, I don't want to know what you guys did. I don't know what seamen do out at sea.
Sorry, I completely bypassed that rate. No E3s for me.
You didn't go in as a seaman, huh?
No. I went from E1 to E2 to E4. I skipped right over that because the program I was in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, any final thing we need to talk about, Tim, before we end this one?
You know, just how much I hate having to haul my friends' crap from apartment to apartment.
Friends. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first criteria right off the bat. Oh, you want to be friends? Okay. Do you live in an apartment? No. All right. In a house? Yes. How often do you move? We've been here for 5 years. That's good. It's stable. We can be friends.
Yep. Kyle's rocking your patch.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure he got that at Supercell East.
I think I sent that out to Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But hey, if anybody wants one, let me know. I'll
Tim,
if you're friends with me on Instagram, just DM me an address and I can send you them out.
Overlanding for fun. All one word. You can find Tim. Tim needs some subs, guys. So go over to Tim's channel, smash that sub button for him. I'd like to help him get 1,000 this year. And maybe with your help, we can do that. So Tim does unique things, very much into audio, stuff like that. So trail communications, stuff like that. I think you want to go see Tim about. So there is the show. There's the midsize trucks. I want to say I'm really excited. I think next year is the year of the midsize truck. I think if Nissan and some of these other brands that just brought their trucks out, they better have a refresh coming quick because the big boys are coming and it's going to be a lot of fun. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
or these midsize trucks that I want to drive, Tim, this has been your All Terrain Nation. And what are we?
We are out.
Peace, everybody. See y'all next week.